All right. Well, we'll find out who shows up. I did post it, and then this morning I think I sent it out again. And
Uh-huh.
I think I told people about 6 times last night that we would be on today. So we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I had the most interesting thing happen this morning.
Oh, you share yours, and then I'm going to share mine. It was cool too.
Okay, I was busy. I was brushing Moonlight because she just seemed like she needed it, right?
Right?
And then put the brush down, and then Shadow came over, and she decided she wanted to get brushed. So I went to look for the brush, moved boxes, everything. Couldn't find the brush, and Ashley was looking, and I finally went, "That's it. Whoever has that brush, put it back where it was." And next thing you know, Ashley goes, "I see it," but I lift that box, so I know it wasn't there. And so have a little trickster in the house right now.
So before I forget, sis, we have
Yep,
Marion.
Marion, Tracy, and Faye.
Hi, everyone. So today, just to share my spooky little incident, my executive director and I, now my executive director is a young woman who's about 28, 29 years old. And she believes in spirits and things too, right? Now I'm fanatical about my desk being clean. I am that woman that cannot leave my desk, not even to go to the bathroom, that everything isn't put away and everything is tucked away. And the only thing that is on is my lock screen. I mean, I make sure my purse is in its place, my jacket is in its place. So we had to go to the bathroom. Well, I had to go to the bathroom, and it turned out Lindsay followed me. And on the way back, I was having a bit of a coughing fit. And she said, you need a glass of water. I said, well, when I get in. And this is God as my witness. I sat down at my desk, and there was a bottle of water waiting on my desk.
Huh. Good. Well,
And she looked, and I looked, and I said, Lindsay, this was not here when we left. You know how I am. And honest to God, it just showed up out of nowhere.
Well, obviously there's someone out there pranking everyone right now. But good thing one of us has a clean desk, because if you saw my desk right now, you'd begin to wonder how I can read cards. My desk can be dirty because my head is clean.
No, my whole space is.
You should hear Ashley snort.
So I don't know what the rest of you guys are like out there, but I'm this honest to God, like I have a place for everything at work. At home, my place gets a bit chaotic because I have more stuff than I have space. But I literally cannot bear to leave my desk messy, dirty. And when I come in the morning, every third morning, I sterilize everything. Absolutely everything. The desk, the counters, the stand that the plants are on, because I'm a bit anal that way. Yeah. And I hate not knowing where stuff is when I come in. Well, hello to Amanda and a name I don't recognize. Inja?
Ilya.
And Kathy.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. How do you see Amanda? I don't see any Amanda. I see Marion, Tracy, Faye, Ilya. Oh, there's Amanda. Duh.
Amanda and Kathy is coming up.
Okay, well, ladies, shall we get started? So,
what deck are you using, D'Arcy?
I am using the deck Penelope sent me for Christmas, which is the Universal Celtic. And it's sort of cute because we gave each other the deck. She's got one, I've got one. And they're different. This is probably the second time I've used them. So Marion, I picked the star. I love it. I love the animal aspect of the deck, and the fact there's fairies all the way through this deck. And this to me is about belief, and it's about just the fact we were talking about imps and someone pulling little pranks. Fairies can do that too. But Marion, this makes me think that there is an answer to a solution around you. And the message is coming now. You may not get the answer until September, because that's normally when you'll see stags and everything. But I feel like there is an answer to the conclusion of something for you in September. But it makes me feel like it's bright, it's hopeful, and all the green and all those little white things are fairies. So I would say, using your own instinct, that answer may actually come to you from you listening and being open to universe around you. And
Okay.
I don't know who, wait a minute, don't know who Mark is, but the name Mark comes out with it, Marion. So I don't know who that is. Remember, first, middle, last name.
Okay, well, guys, I am using another new deck. I got this one from my son and daughter-in-law. It is called the Wild Unknown. It's a brand new deck, and the meanings of these cards are a little bit different, aren't they, D'Arcy?
Yeah, they are, and they're interesting.
Very
I like
interesting.
them.
So, whoops, here's the back of them. Very plain, very simple. And there's a lot of black and white in this deck. So, Marion, the first card I chose for you, whoops.
Yeah, no, you're headed the right way.
The direction is the Seven of Pentacles. And like, I love how this one just keeps them everything in a line. Like, before I even check out the meaning, to me, this card says, like, be curious,
Are you thinking inquisitive?
yeah, be inquisitive. And it says, when you look back, like, you've done a lot of work. Like, look at the work that goes into this card, hey? Like, right angles and everything. You've done a lot of work, and now's the time to look back and, you know, be a little bit inquisitive about what you may or may not have done a little differently, but don't get hung up on it. And, you know, just breathe a minute before you make any decision, because you're going to have to make a decision in the next week or two. Just breathe. Look where you've gone. Look what you've accomplished, and breathe.
Okay. So next is Tracy. Hello, Tracy. And Tracy, I picked the Page of Swords. And to me, this is about teaching. It's about learning. It's about taking a different road than most people would ever take in their lifetime. And this is open to a challenge, but it's also that energy of spring. So it may be something new in the spring that you're going to be learning, and not to be afraid of it. Like most people, I can't think of anyone who would really have a hawk hold on to their arm unless they're wearing that leather glove. But it could even be that you might be going to a nature reservation and you get to do something like that. Be open to the challenge, Tracy. It feels like it's going to be fun. It also feels a little spontaneous, something out of the ordinary for you. So just embrace it.
So, sort of in keeping with this one, this is the Three of Pentacles. Again, a really cool card. You see a mountain in the background, which means like there's something huge you're going to have to face here. Some kind of decision. You're going to have to make a decision on something, and it's going to seem like it's the most important decision of your life. So take some time to reflect, have the courage to do it. And, you know, for me, when I'm looking at the colors tell me that focus a little bit on your health, get your emotions under control whenever. And for some reason, I'm focusing on red. And red always makes me think both of love, but it also makes me think of a little bit of, you know, upset and anger that needs to be resolved.
Could you turn that? Wait. Can you turn the card sideways? No, like this.
Oh.
Okay, now turn it upside down. There's something else in it. I want to see what it is. Move it. Yeah, wait. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to hang upside down to see the card. It's not working. It makes me feel as though there's a point to be made here. And it's like almost standing in the center. And you've got people on either side of you, Tracy, and it's like, are you listening to the information, or are you just doing the thing like I do, da 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 in my brain, but realize I missed something? So there may be something that you have to open up to allow the information to come into you.
So that's what you do when you talk to me. You just hear blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And there you go. I put you on speaker and wander around and do chores.
Good to know. Good to know.
Okay, Faye, I picked the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords normally means you're coming out of difficulties, okay? But if you actually look at this one, she sees the reflection of herself in the boat and she's relaxing. This is taking time to regenerate yourself, but it's also taking that me moment, that moment where it's like literally you're floating like a cloud and you're enjoying every second of it. And there's still people looking and expecting you to do things for them. And there's the light saying shine. And since I know there's been a birth in the family since you posted it.
Yes, congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah. This can also be about you observing the child from a distance and that this is a special child. So be ready.
Okay, so Faye, I picked for you another cool card, 3 of Wands. In the center, you see all that cool color that D'Arcy's ignoring, right? And what the center is saying is future is infinite. Like your future is anything you want to be. Trust your guides, trust where you're going. And literally, it makes me think of Girl Guides or Boy Scouts, but it also makes me think of following your culture. Because when I look at this, I see a teepee. Yep. And I see inside that teepee your spiritualism, your faith, and it's saying rely on those things as you start to develop your choices in this next part of your life.
What about a sweat lodge? Like it can make something like a sweat lodge.
Yeah, it could be.
Well, that's very cool card. Because you held the card upside down. Yeah. Okay. So, and it's funny when you move it, it looks like the colors on the inside are swirling like you're in a third dimension.
So like your future is infinite.
Yes. Okay. So next is Ilya. But just before we read for Ilya, I see she wrote something. She says she has about 4 spirits around her and trying to hear any messages, however, still learning to listen. Not sure if it's me or the message coming through. So is there a message they are trying to tell me? Well, Ilya, a couple of things. Ground yourself before you start doing a meditation and ask them one question only at a time. So if you do a meditation first thing in the morning, ask them one question. Give them a chance to answer it. Okay. Being open to the concept or idea behind a message is being open to everything that happens to you within a week, 2-week period of you asking the question. I have been known to ask spirit questions and I'm still waiting a month. And it's not that I can't hear them. It's sometimes I'm just not paying attention. And they'll drop things to let me know, or they'll make me run into something. And so grounding yourself is really important, and keeping a little book like my trusty little book that I have here beside you, so that when you write out the question, there will eventually be an answer. And just as an experiment, anyone can do this. Tonight, when you go to bed, you're going to ask Spirit this. Show me a blue feather, show me a blue feather, show me a blue feather. You have to ask the question 3 times. And when you go to bed and get up in the morning, be prepared. Okay. Now, when I first did this, I thought they were going to literally drop a blue feather at my feet. Well, no, I went to Michael's and I looked at a reef with peacock feathers. What color is in a peacock feather? Blue. I expected a blue jay. Nothing happened. I was reading a book with a parrot that had blue feathers. And I went to, I think it was Cinderella, where she's locked in the tower, and a bluebird flew out 3 dimension. And not once did I connect was my blue feather. It's like, I had to be hit with a blue feather. And then all of a sudden, I realized something. Oh my God, I've seen the blue feather. So be open, Ilya. The message is going to be there. But in the meantime, that's funny because I didn't even look at the card. I did pick you to 2 of Swords, and this is communication. So basically, everything I've just said to you came from Spirit. This is communication. This is be open. Write it down. Listen. Pay attention to all the signs. And it can be something as simple as you're watching TV and something pops out. Okay, so be open. The messages are coming. You're just not listening.
So part of what I picked for you, making a little dizzy here, is the Five of Wands. Again, a really cool card. But what the Five of Wands is, if you're looking, I mean, things are scattered. These are your thoughts, sunshine. You're sending out so many messages, so many requests that it feels like everyone's ignoring you. You're at conflict with everything around you. So like D'Arcy said, just
pick one.
Pick one thing. Focus on one thing. I don't ask for a blue feather, but very often I do something very similar. And I ask for, some kind of a sign that I'm on the right path or I'm doing the right thing. Sorry, what hit my way?
Yeah, I heard
it. Is a cooing feral tomcat. One you'll probably never see on my lap because he's not that cat. But anyways, I know you're scattered and it feels like no one's listening to you and all these messages are coming. You just need to focus. You just need to ask them, one thing. And it can be something simple. Like D'Arcy said, a blue feather. It can be, I always ask for a sign of a stone, a particular stone that will answer my questions. And I have learned to pick up the stone that draws my attention. I've been caught a couple times. One time I didn't know my family doctor was out in the same park I was in. And I had the night before said, I want to make sure my brother's going to be okay after his surgery. And I was walking somewhere and there was tons of stones everywhere. Like it was a path of stones and rocks, the kind, Darce.
Yeah.
And one particular stone just stood out to me. And I thought, oh my God, that's my stone, right? And I remember later my doctor just going, looking for signs in the walkway? I said, yes. So just focus on one thing, sunshine, you'll get it.
Okay. So, Amanda, I picked the Five of Pentacles, and this is contemplation. This is taking that time to be on your own. I think something like that came out last night too, about you having those moments where you can sit down, you can shut all the doors, shut the phone off, shut off the computer, and just concentrate on you. And it's really important to burn the fire that ignites your passion for what you would like to see in your life. Hope, happiness, joy, peace, love. It's all there, but you've got to keep that burning passion lit. Don't let it die out. Just keep it going, Amanda.
And hang in there, sunshine. Hang in there. I picked for you, and I swear that cat's going to knock something over yet. This is the Lovers. And this is very cool because the colors are very beautiful, very bright. You should really focus on your chakras and your aura and make sure you're balanced a lot. But this card is a strong relationship. This card actually represents, when it comes up for someone, it represents a strong relationship, a really strong, solid relationship. And that you're going to be, anything that comes up that is a bit stressful in the next little while, you're better with your better half. And this is really cool. This is Canadian geese they used in this picture.
Yeah.
And we all know geese mate for life. So it just says basically that there's a lot to be grateful in your relationship, and you need to maybe go and hug your husband and tell him how amazing he is, but temper it, because you never want to make a man think he's, perfect.
Yeah. So there's one thing I have learned during readings for everyone is happy life, happy wife. Oh my God, is that ever true?
True.
Okay, so Kathy's next. Hi, Kathy. I have picked out, let's get her in here, the Empress. And this is all about you owning your power and knowing exactly what you want in your life and actually making it come to fruition, but it's doing it in such a way that there's compassion attached to it. You're not doing it out of anger or frustration. You're doing it because this is what you love, Kathy. And so be really open to it and be really prepared to let your guard down and let some people in to help you.
Definitely. And no, I'm not like my sister. I don't flip through the deck so I can find something that I like. I just literally grab whatever's on top. And this is the Four of Wands. And you know, basically, Kathy, what this is saying that enjoy yourself, open your life up to possibilities and to healing and letting go, and just know that you have reason to celebrate in your life. I know the past can be difficult, and we've all shared loss. I'm willing to bet there isn't one of us in this group of people that hasn't shared some kind of loss. But this is saying there is cause for celebration, cause for joy, and it's in you to push it out.
Yeah, I agree. So, Cheyenne, hi, honey. Well, here you go. This is the Hierophant, and this is about knowledge, and it's the wisdom that comes with age, but it's also the wisdom that comes with learning. There's a lot yet for you to learn. Obviously, for me, you're intuitive, so it's really important to dive into that a little bit, but to use the knowledge that is given to you to help direct you where you want to go with it. And intuition is a great thing, but sometimes it can mess us up. Just when we think we got everything figured out, they go, nope, you're going this way instead. So be open to changes, but also please, I am going to ask that you keep a journal of some sort so that when it's happening, you know what's going on, and maybe there's little clues for other times while you're developing your intuition, that it could be, okay, the right side says father, the left side says mother. Heavy, right? That's a no. Light, yes. That's a yes. And so the other thing is, I'll hear when people are lying to me, I'll actually hear liar, liar, pants on fire. And I'm thinking, what? And that's when I know. Okay, so pay attention. They are definitely working with you. Now it's time for you to work with them.
Okay, so Five of Cups. The Five of Cups says that sometimes you find yourself disappointed in people. But really, part of that disappointment is, and some of that disappointment is in yourself, but that is because you've got to lower some of your expectations, and especially on yourself. We'll take what D'Arcy's saying. Nobody learns, well, not nobody, but very few people are born 100% bang into this world intuitive. They have a latent intuitive ability or a gift to be able to reach out to spirit, or even like D'Arcy, a medium. But it takes a little bit of work. Nothing comes to us without being willing to work. And the disappointment we feel, and that's what that card is saying, like you feel disappointment because you so badly want to be able to hear that voice, hear that message, do that thing. And sometimes we just have to take a step back, lower our expectation. And like D'Arcy said, for the way back in the beginning, imagine a feather.
And
I'm going to bed tonight in spirit 3 times. I want to see my room full of feathers. You actually never want to see that, but
not unless you bust a pillow because you're beating someone up with it.
But you do say, ask for something. It's like start lower expectations.
That's why asking for blue feather is the easiest way to go. Okay, so Elaine. And there is something else. I mean, I always knew I could see things, but I never really started by saying, oh, I'm a medium. I started as a psychic. I read tea leaves. I read coffee grounds. I read tarot cards. I read playing cards. Not once would I have said I was a medium. It wasn't until I think I was about 40 when I finally said, okay, yes, I can see dead people, because I was afraid to tell people I could see dead people, because guess what? You get locked up when you say that. So I never wanted that to happen to myself. Now, well, I'm certain there's a few people who would like to see me in the funny house, but it's never going to happen. So be open. Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny you should say that. I know we're getting a little sidetracked, guys, but we'll get you all in there. I think, as you know, I have been extremely reluctant with my gift. And even when you tricked me into all those readings, I always said, well, I'm just a person who has a message. But one of the talents I was born with is knowing about herbs. I've never understood how I knew, but I was never going to tell you that I was a witch that knew how to mix herbs, or a medicine person or anything like that. It took me a very long time. And even now, if you were to ask me, like, there in some of the places I travel, I'm considered a medicine woman or the white witch. And I'm always saying that I am a white witch in training, or I'm a healer in training, because I just, it's something you have to learn to accept, and then you have to learn to listen.
Yes. Now, before we read for Elaine, I had mentioned Mark to Marion, and she said Dr. Mark Miller passed away. His birthday was September. So, Marion, if you happen to be talking to anyone in his family, would you please let them know that he has gone fishing and he's hung out his shingle at the same time. And as always, if his birthday's in September, maybe just light a candle for him, just to remember him.
Yeah.
Okay, Elaine, I picked Justice. And what I like about this card is she's standing in the hollow of a tree. And, she's still approachable. And there's people kneeling at her feet, which means they're listening to what she has to say. But I don't see her holding a gavel and it does look like, sorry, blind. Oh, it is the Justice, and her sword is down. So she's not fighting. She's just happen, Elaine. And I think that's the big thing here, is believe in yourself. Like, believe when you make a judgment call, you're actually making the judgment call because you've taken all the information that you gathered, everything that you need to actually make an informed choice. So trust yourself. When you make that decision, know that you've made it, because you're not just guessing. You've gathered all the information to make that choice in a correct manner.
And I chose for you the Mother of Cups. And what this talks about is, come on, sunshine, you've got natural psychic ability. You know what you're talking about, and believe in yourself a bit. You've got this. And then just remind people that, like a mother goose, don't tick you off too often.
Yeah.
And for God's sakes, don't mess with your kids.
Okay. So Amanda says this evening, right at dark, she had a cardinal fly into her pecan tree, and before she could take a picture, it flew away. So was that a spirit sending a message? Yeah, your dad doesn't know what direction to go in. And
I was just thinking
that would be my message, is your dad was aiming for the crutch of the tree, totally missed, and then decided he should fly on. So did you hear anything different?
No, my first thought was she was having a visit by her dad.
Oh, so there you go.
In our case, let's be honest, if our father was to visit, for sure he'd come in the shape of a seagull.
Well, and your niece, my daughter, already knows that, because when she graduated high school, seagull shit on her. And I had just written a letter to my dad saying to him, come on, you got to show me something that shows me that with Ashley going to Japan, you're going to look after her. And we were horsing around in the parking lot while she was getting her certificate, and seagull shit on her. And when we came in, the letter fell off the fridge as she ran up to get a shower. And I thought, oh my God, now is that a sign or what?
Well, he always said that's what he was going to do. My car has been, but I haven't.
Oh, yeah, I have. Okay, so Lily, you're next. Hi, Lily.
Oh, D'Arcy, just before Lily, Can you see Sandra on yours?
No, but I will say talk
She is
for
here.
Sandra too. Okay. So hi Lily, and I picked the 5 of Cups, and I don't. This is celebration, but it's also maybe a reflection of what's gone on before, and knowing that some things you've come through the worst of, and now you're headed into a brighter future. So having faith, believing that we can change where we can't change where we've been. We can just change where our future is going. And it just feels like there's a lot of hope headed your way. So be open to it and be ready for it, because you will be surprised what will happen.
Okay, and I picked for you, darling, the Son of Swords, right?
Yep.
Okay. One, when I see a snake, I have to admit that I'm a little bit cautious about snakes. And my first thought is really, really be careful no, Son of Wands, not swords.
Oh.
Son of Wands.
Okay.
For some reason, I thought it said swords too. Sort of, you know what? If you're faced in the next week, and I think you will be, with something that looks like it's almost too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Listen to your instincts. I mean, snakes aren't bad, but when I think of snakes, I think of not trusting them overly much. They look like they're all cute and sweet until they're at the foot of your sleeping bag.
What are you talking about? Snakes are good. But it did make me think the same thing. Be a little cautious, Lily. Okay.
I don't think anything bad is happening. I just think, you know what? Snakes. Snakes. You can't trust them.
No, that's not true. I like snakes. Now, spiders, totally different. So Kathy said she smelled a sweet vanilla fragrance day before yesterday, but no candles were lit. I felt an overwhelming peace. What does it mean? Just that, Kathy. It's just supposed to bring you peace. And there's the other thing. Thank you, Kathy. Great example. Sometimes we look for more in the message than there really is. It's something simple. Like I was listening to something today and I had goosebumps flood through me, and I thought this is going to work, because it just felt like the energy was positive. And yet someone else was speaking and I went, oh, like, I don't like that. I don't like their idea because of the energy. So it can be as simple as all it's meant to do is make you feel the peace.
Yeah.
Well, Faye, maybe you should build a sweat lodge. I'll come up and help.
Build one and I'll come.
Yeah. Chloe wants, can I come in? Well, Chloe, you're already here. First of all, I want to read for Sandra. Before I forget, Sandra, I pulled the Strength card. And this is such a nice card. The gentleness of the bear, the walking. He's not attacking the person. So this is about just take time to be gentle with yourself, Sandra. Feel like right now bears would hibernate because it's winter. So maybe now's the time to look at doing little things, putzing around the house, doing a few little chores, nothing extravagant. And just, mark, well, I want to say mark the day when you need to plant. So there may be something, an idea, a concept, or you're actually going to be planting, Sandra.
Okay, and Sandra, for you, I picked the Mother of Pentacles. And this pretty much says that you always focus on caring about others, but don't forget while you're caring about others, just like hibernating like that bear, take some time to focus on yourself, to focus your energy so that you are strong enough in the spring, just like when this mama has her babies in the spring, to do what needs to be done.
Yeah. Okay, so Chloe is next. And I picked the 4 of Pentacles. And this, strangely enough, made me think of traditions and the fact the person has to use a different sense. Instead of seeing the flowers, they're smelling because their eyes are closed or bandaged. And this is being open to listening to the environment around you, but it's also being open to the idea that instead of staring at things, maybe you need to close your eyes and have a look at things from different senses.
And I picked for you the Emperor. Is that a cool card too? I love these unique decks, like even yours. Well, obviously I love it. I bought one for myself. But the Emperor talks about stability and protectiveness.
Well, I know that's not Bailey.
Oh no, that's my neighbor's dog. Oh. Never mind. Let's not go there. Positive thoughts.
All right.
So sorry about that. The Emperor talks about clarity of thought and trying to remember that you need to spend some thought on planning your actions in the future. So that means if there's some decision making you need to make this week into next week, take a moment. Don't be hesitant to just sort of say, look, I need a few minutes. I need some time. Sort of that look before you leap kind of thing.
Yeah. So
Yes.
Next is Christy. Hi, Christy. Hope you're doing fine, honey. And this is the Knight of Swords, but I sort of find it interesting because this is also like if Taurus may, but it's also like, the exercise program where if you were a football player and you're jumping between tires. And this may be looking after your own strength. It may be about you, about you keeping up your health. And it may also be for you to really make sure that you're keeping your fitness level up. So look after yourself, Christy.
So what was yours that you gave her?
The Knight of Swords.
I picked the Four of Swords. And it's not intimidating to see the Four of Swords hanging. You'll notice the lamb, and the lamb is very quiet. It's very still. He or she is not afraid in the least. And this is a time for you to focus on your mental energy and the ability to be able to just breathe and know that you're safe. You've got this. I always call it, in my other deck I call it the You've Got This Babes card. Yeah. And that's how I feel, like you've got this.
Well, happy anniversary to Amanda and Donnie.
Well, see, that relationship card, remember? The lovers?
Yeah.
Like pat that man on the back, but gently, because we don't want him to think he's perfect. The only thing I really know is that my 15-plus-year-old coffee pot not only broke and shattered, but died 2 weeks ago. And in all honesty, folks, I have had a longer, and we're talking original craft and original machine. And it is a standing joke that I have had a coffee pot outlive my relationship with it, outlived 3 marriages. So gently pat the man on the back.
And apparently Kathy can't count because Amanda says 6. Hey, that's okay. Take the extra 2 years. Okay, so someone called SS. Well, we're not doing guardian angels. We're pulling cards. So I pulled the 6 of Cups, and this is viewed deep into the well of your dreams and wishes. See what you are looking for and then transform them into reality. This is totally up to you, SS. I mean, you can leave them up in the trees as though they're dreams and fairy lights, but you could pluck them down and one at a time make them happen.
And you must be in the cups, as my grandmother used to say. I chose the 2 of Cups. And the 2 of Cups talks about romance, but it also talks, can you see that?
Yeah.
It also talks about the new birth, new beginnings. And that could be as simple as a new beginning and a lasting friendship.
Yeah.
So just go with that.
So Amanda, I'm glad you brought up chakras because tomorrow, just so everyone knows, I am going to talk and show you how to clear chakras before I do any kind of readings tomorrow. So come prepared to watch to see what happens. And Amanda, that just may help you take the knowledge you have and use it. Okay, so next, hi Angie, how are you? Okay, so let's pull a card for Angie. Ooh, nice. Angie, Ace of Pentacles. And this makes me think of a ritual. All right. And it also makes me think of druids. It makes me think of holding court. But what it makes me really think about is visualizing the money come towards you. There's one right there. And then the light that's reflecting on it. I need a pointer. Oh, wait. And it just feels like I hate narrow vision, but this makes me think narrow your vision, Angie, where you want your money to go, because wherever you want it to come from or wherever you want it to go to, this is going to happen. And you have people surrounding you that are making sure it does.
Hi, I picked the Three of Swords. I think this kind of gets the point across. Like, there's a lot of entanglement here, and the Three of Swords talks about how you have to be careful this week not to let frustration and confusion cloud any decisions. So if you have some serious decisions to make and someone's ticked you off, whether it's the reason you're making the decision or it's something else external, this says cool your jets, calm down. Don't make a decision about anything. And I mean, that sounds silly, but it can be something as simple as, oh, you know what? I think I'll go for a cup of coffee because I'm peeved, and end up in a car accident that totals your vehicle. And as extreme as that might sound, 2 years ago this week, I was ticked. I'd been at a board meeting where I damn near lost my job for asking a question that is pertaining to what I do for a living. And I left and went, ugh. And I was furious. And on the spur of the moment, I made a decision to stop for coffee, walked into the coffee shop, grabbed the coffee, and I was still angry. And 20 seconds later from leaving, like, honest to God, 20 seconds, I was in a car accident that totaled the front end of my vehicle. Words of wisdom: you're in a bad mood or you've been upset about something, pause before you make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
My ED still teases me to this day and goes, I think it'll be the 23rd, and she'll go, Pen, we're coming up on the 2nd anniversary of your car accident. We're not going to do anything that upsets us before we go for coffee.
Okay.
Last year, she actually picked me up for the meeting.
Okay, so Cheyenne says that she noticed that, I take it, Spirit has been trying to communicate with her during one of our sessions. And the question she asked was, are my guides saying anything? And she had a very intrusive thought that was along the line of, if you want to know, ask me yourself. And since then, she's been noticing a lot of signs. And it's true. It is important sometimes to ask them, because they're your guides. They don't always like talking through a third party. And I see Sandra now. Hello, Sandra. I did your cards for you. And Cheyenne mentions that she sees cardinals, and Amanda said that her dad loved cardinals. Now, just to find out, I Googled at the same time we're all talking about what message does the cardinal bring? Okay. And it says, cardinals represent devotion, loving relationship, courtship. And above all else, it is a message of good fortune and bringing your group of people together because of communication. So there are a few things. They're very strong for First Nations or love or lore. And so there's a lot of things you can look it up. A lot of things you can look up online. They'll give you little brief things. I always take out what I want and leave the rest behind. It's sort of like my tarot cards. You know, if I don't like the card, I'm going to put it away, unless you're having a reading. Totally different. With this, it's about fun.
So D'Arcy, did you see PJ Sutherland?
I haven't gone down yet. Just a minute. I see Elaine. I'm just going through everyone. Elaine, that's awesome, guys. And yep, I am a mother goose. Don't mess with my kids. Yes, it's true. Kathy sees cardinals as well. And Christina, I don't see a PJ Sutherland. Okay.
It was right after Amanda said, no, Angeline said, very good, thank you.
Okay, I haven't seen that yet.
PJ says she would love to have a card pulled.
Yeah. Okay, let's pull for PJ and then we'll go to Christina. Okay, so PJ, here you go. This is the 3 of Wands. It looks like coins, but now I see the 3 of Wands. And this is a path sometimes less taken. And it's a path that's calling you. And it looks like there's a dog. Oh, 2 dogs behind him. And there's a white elk. This is good luck. I don't know. Here, let's see if I can use a pencil. Right up here is, it's like, I'm not driving. And this looks like an elk in the distance. And it's like, one, it could be your spirit guide, which could be an elk, a deer. It looks like a llama. And it could also be, this is all about a path less taken. So you're making a choice. Most people would never take the path, PJ, but it's calling you. So I'm saying go for it.
Cool. And PJ, I chose for you the Daughter of Cups. And if you look at the colors, I mean, these are dynamic colors. And what this tells me is that you're a romantic, you're very artistic, and you are inspired by your surroundings. So here's the thing. Don't get so distracted by your surroundings that you forget to ground yourself, right? And that's what that card is saying. It's saying, you know, you might even be a bit like me, like I am so distracted. I will be looking at one thing and then all of a sudden I can remember traveling with my sister and all of a sudden going, look, did you see the blue jay? And then 2 seconds later it was, oh, I've got to get drums and I'm describing drums. So like everything comes at you at once. So try not to be overwhelmed, try to focus and try to ground yourself. I actually do a grounding exercise in the mornings to help remind me to ground.
Yep. Do a lot of grounding exercises. So Christina, I picked, funny, I didn't realize it was the 3 of Swords. I thought it said something else, but this is normally lost love. Okay, in this particular case, it's letting go of a love of an idea, a love of a person, a love of an adventure, and it's letting it go and letting it be buried so that it can resurrect itself and be looked at another day. Okay, I don't actually think they mean someone's dying. In this particular case, it's an idea, a concept. It could be a friendship that's going down the tube, but just let it go. Because if it's really meant to be there, it is going to come back around, guaranteed.
So in conjunction, I picked the Mother of Wands. And the Mother of Wands, of course, like all mother cards, represents the strong bond of motherhood. But what this one is really saying is, this one is saying that be graceful when you're letting go. Give people a little space. You know, I was watching a program today that talked about helicoptering. I'd never heard that term before. Helicopter mother. Never heard that term. But when you look at this snake, I mean, she wants to protect whoever this person, the wand represents, right? And you just sometimes have to let go. Gracefully, with love.
Sometimes that's hard.
And once you're me and you discovered that you never raised your only child, that he was raised by a banshee and a wolf.
Yeah. So you're welcome, Lily, and you are welcome, Kathy. Jacina said she tends to notice repeating numbers and 11, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 12. And also she's been seeing the names of 2 different people everywhere and wondering about them. Not sure about the names. Maybe they're people you're going to meet, or you're going to meet someone with the names. As for the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 11, 12, 12, that's universal opening. That's an opportunity for you to make a statement about the way you'd like to see your life.
I was recently told by a woman who is considered an elder in her knowledge, right, down out the road, that when you see 11, 11 over and over and over, and it's the one you see most prominently, what it is saying is that you are part of a connection in the universe, and that you're probably needing, you see that so frequently because you need to be reminded that we're all connected and you're not alone out there. I noticed that we have someone called Gloria just popped up.
Well, I don't see her yet, so I haven't gone all the way down. You're way down farther than I am.
Okay.
So, okay. And we did for Angela, Kathy. Okay. They're talking back and forth.
Yes.
Amanda wants to know, can you wish a spell of losing its voice? Not unless you want to lose your own voice. You can't wish any kind of spell that's going to have a negative effect on anyone.
Always remember the first rule of magic. Do no harm. So some people believe it comes back to you threefold. Grandma Beardsley believed it could come back to you sevenfold. I don't know what D'Arcy believes, but I believe it comes back sevenfold. So be careful.
What I believed.
Pardon me?
I believe the same thing.
So be careful, careful, careful. You never want to say, oh, I wish this, because there's power in those words, and words can't be taken back.
No. So next is Jessica, and she says, would like some insight for clarity first half of my year. Okay, we're not doing that, but I'll tell you what, I'll give you clarity on what you need to do. This is the Seven of Swords, Jessica. And this is let go of what's useless around you. Okay, let go of your old ideas, your expectations. And this is also write out what you would like to see in your life. Okay, doing a half a year, that's a full reading. You can talk to either Penelope or I. There's our emails, and set up a reading time. But this is right now, I would tell you, write down everything you'd like to see, remove anything that you feel is blocking you, and just take it one step at a time.
And this card here, it looks really ominous, and it is the Five of Swords. And it says self-destruction on the top of the card. And what that self-destruction, that isn't that you're going to commit suicide or something like that. What it is saying is that you can get lured into an argument. When we get lured into an argument that has no winning to it, both people are on a self-destructive path. And that's what that's saying. Don't get lured into an argument. Don't get, especially because you know on some level, don't get put into a situation that is not, like, it's a lose-lose. Nobody's going to win. And both, when I look at this card, I know I don't know you, but it says you could possibly be a little hot-headed and get lured into something and then go, oh, frig, what the hell was I thinking of afterwards? And beat yourself up about it. So how about if we just jump over that?
Okay, well, Angie says she's not going driving, so I can guess what her week looks like for coffee. Amanda, you're a doll. Thank you. Alex, Amanda's got a voice. Please leave the site. And PJ, you're welcome. And Christy and Christina. And well, I agree with Amanda. Sometimes you do have to get to the point and tell these trolls to get lost. I don't understand how they manage to get on, since, I don't invite them into the show. So how is that it happens? And Gloria, hi. We haven't pulled a card for you yet. So let's pull a card for Gloria. Ah, Gloria, the Fool. I love this guy. Look at him. He's got his mushroom umbrella and his lily umbrella. and he's walking on his rainbow bridge. Anything is possible, Gloria. Oh my God, I got goosebumps. If I were you, I'd buy a lottery ticket just in case. And this is about trusting everything about yourself and just moving forward, because even though the road might be a little slippery because he's on a bridge, and we all know how convection works. When it gets cold out, the bridge gets cold because there's no protection under it. But the thing is, he's still standing on the bridge, and that's what I feel. No matter what happens, you're always going to be standing upright. And be careful of slippery places.
Hello, Sunshine. The card I picked for you is the High Priestess. And if you notice, there's like a really cool crystal ball. And this is saying that trust your intuitive abilities. This card is usually comes to people to say, hey, listen to that voice. I always call it the voice of reason, the voice of the creator, the voice of God, or the high priestess, whoever it is. But there's always in the back of our heads that voice that says, pay attention. And we're that, we live in that world where, I'm sorry, we've got the cell phone, the Surface, we've got our TV blaring, we've got the radio blaring, we've got social media at the back of our necks, and we're just too busy to listen to that voice. But this card is saying this week you really need to listen to your inner voice, the voice of reason in the back of your head.
Wow, we have another one. Olivia, leave the site, please. So we'll have to block her later. But Jeanette, hi, honey. How are you? Look, Ace of Wands. Look at the burning fire of desire around you. Let's heat up your love life a little. But it's also new opportunities in work. So the opportunity to start new jobs and fitness. This made me think of a Fitbit. So it's getting some exercise in too. Depends on what kind of exercise. I don't know if it actually tracks that kind of exercise, but you could let us know. Look, Kathy, I didn't tell her to put the penny between her knees. So anyways, have some fun, Jeanette. Stir up the energy around you and just go for it.
Jeanette, I agree. This is the Magician. And look at this beautiful, beautiful card. And this card says, come on, see yourself as a wildcat. Take a leap of faith. Just go with it. Trust your abilities. And don't be afraid to begin your journey, which is really what the Magician is saying. Come on, you've got this. You've got the looks. You've got the ability. You've got the style, the grace.
Just go on.
Pardon me?
And the charm.
Wow.
Sex. I like Kathy. She says sex burns calories. I don't know. It's been so long. I forgot what it's like. There, got a little story to tell. Sitting around in the teacher's lounge in elementary school, and we're all talking about, first time, everything, and then the last time. And they all looked at me, and I went, I don't know. I'm a born again virgin because I can't remember the last time. So, hey, works for me. Okay, everyone, on that note, it's been a fantastic evening. We will get rid of the trolls. Okay, Olivia, please leave. And we'll get rid of the trolls for you. And hopefully we can narrow them down, report them to Facebook, and we'll see what happens.
Yes, Olivia, you're being kind of annoying, but we're just going to ignore you. And it has been a fast hour.
It has. And remember, tomorrow night, I am going to talk and show how to clear our chakras. So that's going to take a little bit of the show. And then after I'm done, we will look at pulling cards and stuff for you. Okay? Y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow night. And thank you so much for joining us.
And you know what, guys? Take a little bit from every card that was shown. There might be something for all of you there, like D'Arcy often says. Thank you so much for showing up. And it's been fun. And remember, words of wisdom. Coffee pots last longer than husbands sometimes. Many blessings, and have a wonderful evening.
May joy, love, peace, and happiness find you all in mysterious ways. Blessed be everyone.